So I'm standing at the arrivals hall at Toronto Pearson Airport, and I am so excited, and I'm so pregnant. I'm excited for two reasons. Partly because I've loved being pregnant. My baby is due in 2 days. I'm a little bit nervous, and I feel like I've done the yoga, I've done the hypnobirthing, I've done the acupuncture. I am ready, and I'm about to drop a baby. And the other reason I'm so excited is because I'm about to see my mom. We have lived in different cities for about 12 years, and we try and see each other every year or two. And growing up, it's not just that we love each other, we like each other. Like if you saw us, we'd be walking down the street arm in arm, or we would hang out drinking tea and smoking cigarettes and talking politics. My mom was a leftist, but not quite the radical leftist I am. So sometimes our conversations would get heated. She'd say things like, "Oh, but me, you can't abolish the police." And I'd say, "Why not? They're trash, built on slavery and murder." And she'd say, "Yeah, but what are you going to do about bank robbers?" And I'd say, "Well, feed the people and you don't have bank robbers." And she'd say, okay. And even if it got heated, there was always a lot of affection there. So sometimes it was loud, and sometimes it was quiet, like when my gran was dying and we were nursing her at home. My mom was a nurse, so she knew what to do, and she taught me what to do. And in between the times when we were, in between caring for my grandmother, we would get some food and sit and eat and take a break, and we would talk, and she would ask me questions about school and what play I was in that week. When I moved away, in the times between we saw each other, she would send me these little packages of old pens and partially used Post-it notes. And I would open this box, and it would be filled with all these little things, and the smell of her De Maurier Special Mild would waft up. And I'd be like, "Oh, Mom." And now she's coming to stay with us, and she's going to be with us for the baby. And I'm like, "Yeah, the baby's due in 2 days, and if the baby comes tonight, we're good." And then I spot her. And as I do, my heart drops, and I think, "Oh, she's lost a lot of weight." I think, "Oh, she's not well." And immediately in my head, there's this montage of over the last few months, her telling me, "Oh, I've got a flu. Oh, I've got another flu, me." And me saying, "Mom, you gotta go to the doctor." And she'd say, No, it's all right, it's all right." And me insisting, "No, Mom, you should go." And she'd say, "I will. If it comes back again, I'll go. I promise." But in that moment, I know something is really wrong. And all I feel is a wave. I think, okay, I've got to get her to see a doctor, but I got to have this baby first. So I'm going to have this baby, and then we're going to get her to see a doctor, and somehow we're going to deal with this. And even though I know this, I have to put it aside. So I walk towards her as quickly as a 9-month pregnant person can, and I hear her say, "Hello, me." As she rushes to me, and we throw ourselves into each other's arms, and we hug, and it feels like reuniting with another part of myself. And we've been longing for this moment, and now happiness can burst out of us like little love bubbles all around us. And then we walk arm in arm, and I try and grab her bag, and she says, "No, me, you're pregnant." And we walk out the door. So it's 10 days later, and I'm sitting at home alone on the couch with the baby. He arrived a week ago. The birth was beautiful. We had him at home. And the midwife advised me to stay in the house for at least 10 days, and when I go for a walk, only go as far as the stop sign on the corner. And I'm sitting there looking at a nursing book and kicking myself for not reading it sooner, and trying hard not to look at the other thing that is happening, which is that my mom and my partner have gone to the emergency room, because this is the quickest way for my mom to have a scan. She finally listened when I insisted she go and get some checked out. It's early afternoon, and my partner suddenly comes in the front door and pops her head around the corner, and she says, "Your mom's still in the hospital. You have to come. There's something going on." And I say, "What do you mean?" And she says, "Your mom says you have to come." And I say, "Where's Mom?" And she says, "She's in the emergency room." So I put the baby in the Bjorn. I'm kind of holding myself together because the birth did a number on my pelvis. And I know I'm not supposed to leave the house. But if my mom, my stoic British nurse, does not cause a fuss, Mom needs me to go to the hospital, then I need to go to the hospital. Half an hour later, we walk into this tiny emergency room. There's maybe 20 chairs, and almost all of them are full. I look across the room, and there's my mom sitting in a chair by herself. She's so small, and she looks up at me, and I look at her, and I think, oh, this is actually happening. And somehow, I'm going to have to figure out how to do this. And I walk over to my mom, and I'm standing above her because there's no other chairs to sit in, and the baby's here. And she looks up at me and she says, "The doctor says there's a mass in my liver, and it's too big to operate. So it's a terminal diagnosis. And he's going to give me a referral to an oncologist for a proper prognosis. But he says there isn't a way to recover from this." And I say, okay. And I hold her gaze, and I don't cry. And then when she gets up to go see the doctor, once she's out of the room, and my partner is there with me, with her arm around my waist, and then the tears fall, and I think, okay, she's not going back to Vancouver. She's gonna move in with us. I'm gonna get my Aunt Marg involved. This is the support we're gonna have, and I'm counting on my dear partner to be able to handle that, but I know she will. And I'm holding our baby on my chest, and I'm holding my partner's hand, and she's crying, and I'm crying, and I understand now I have to orient to this new reality. Turned out, my mom was an extremely healthy, dying person. Like, if you saw her, you would see she was very skinny, but I kind of expected her to be actively sick, and she was cleaning our house. She was kind of a clean freak. She had a cleaning company. So she's cleaning our house, she's picking up after us, she's making coffee and tea, playing with the baby. She's not eating a lot, but she's drinking about 8 Coca-Colas a day, and that's keeping her together. She is smoking a lot, countless cigarettes, about 3 packs a day at this point, because really, why not? But mostly she's pottering around with us and we're spending time together. We're sitting talking, and she's giving me life advice, making jokes, being silly. She's doing a lot of the talking. If you knew her, that was because she always talked so much. And she's telling me stories about family and her life. And there's no acknowledgement that she is passing this all on to me, but it's obvious that that's what's happening. Sometimes she would go and stay with my aunt for 3 or 4 days, and my partner and I would get to be just new parents with a new baby. Mom started chemo around month 2 to prolong her life. She seemed to weather it okay, but around month 5, it started to get really painful. One afternoon, my mom, the baby, and I are all in the living room. My mom's on the couch, bent forward. The baby's on the floor, playing with some toys, and I'm sat between the two of them. With my right hand, I'm playing with the baby, and with my left hand, I'm holding on my mom's, and she is gripping it. She is groaning and rocking back and forward, and I'm doing what I can to be there for both of them, and I'm thinking, I can't do anything about this. I just wish this would stop, but I know there's nothing I can do. And I don't know if this is good for the baby to be in the room with this, but my partner's at work, and it's what I have to do. So I turn to the baby, and I beam love at him. I think, I'm gonna love this baby. I love you, baby. And I turn to my mom, and I think, I love you, Mom. We're gonna ride this out together. We're gonna get through this somehow, because that's what we have to do. My mom starts getting more tired. She's really not able to eat and not wanting to. One day, I'm sitting on her bed with her, and I say to her, I can't believe you're dying. And she wraps her arms around me and holds me and comforts me, because I'm losing my mom. And then one day, she didn't get out of bed for the longest time. I heard her get up to go to the bathroom, and a few minutes later, I hear her call out, "Me, I need help." And I run out, and she's grabbing onto the door frame because she's about to collapse. And I help her back to her room, and the rest of that day and the next day, she's sitting on her bed a lot, in pain, rocking back and forth. And she's not talking very much, but every once in a while I say, I love you, Mom. And she says, I love you too, me. And I'm sad, but I'm not scared. I hope this isn't weeks and weeks. I hope this is quick. And I hope I can be by her side. I want to give her whatever she needs. And I'm here for her. I'm here for this. So it's early one evening. My aunt did the night shift the night before, and I say, I want to be on the night shift tonight. About 8 o'clock, I say to my mom, I'm going to go put the baby to bed. I call out to my aunt, Marg, I'm going to do bedtime. And she says, I'll go out on the porch, have a cigarette. So I go and sit in the bedroom, and I'm holding our baby, and my partner's sitting next to me. And I'm singing to the baby the same song I always sing. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. And suddenly my aunt appears in the door and she says, I think she's gone, Lamia. And I say, okay. And I pass the baby to my partner, and I walk down the hall, and I go into her room. And she's folded forward. She's bitten her lip, and there's a bit of blood there. And I can see she's dead. That this moment we've been waiting for 54 weeks is here. And I kneel down beside the bed, and I fold her body back, and I cover her up. And I take her hand onto my face, and I sit with her, and I say, thank you. May your soul move easy through the trees. May you rest in peace. May you be at ease. Thank you.